What What's up, my DraftKings people? How y'all living? Hope y'all are been successful this Thursday. I'm killing the game, and I'm gonna go ahead and run through you guys. I pick my lineup for this coming up Sunday. So everybody has uh, their strategy on how they choose teams and how they pick their lineup. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I go through mine, and I pick a lineup with you, and we're gonna win this thing together, or we're gonna place. I don't mind sharing. So the first thing I do when I'm starting to pick my lineup is, I'm conservative. I'm picking basically one or two. I can play the numbers game, but I'm gonna look for a single entry, and I'm gonna put a single entry in. So that's what I was looking for. So I'm gonna go use the single entry NFL Python 30,000. Let's take a look at it. First gets 1,500. I could use that. It goes down from there. All right. So it's only $3. You know that it's not something where those people out there that are basically putting in 20 lineups, trying to beat the odds, are doing. This is, you get one shot at it, and here we go. All right. So I'm putting in $3, and I'm going to show you my strategies to winning. So for this Sunday, let's look at wide receivers available. I always start at the wide receivers because those are the ones that are going to make or break you. And when people are out, like if you go back, you saw D. Watson, he's out. Don't expect even a big play receiver to necessarily gel with a new quarterback right away. So you're basically playing the odds when you're playing DraftKings. You're playing the odds that the chemistry's there and things keep rolling. All right. So what you want to do is you still want to look for the best wide receiver against the worst receiving defense. So Des Bryant, and you want to look for someone with high volume. Des Bryant definitely gets high volume. Click on him. You see he gets 6, 10. Anyone who's getting double digits consistently is in high consideration. So I'll go with Des Bryant right there. Gets high volume, and he's going against Kansas City, which does give up some points. All right. Tyreek Hill. So another strategy is that if you assume Des Bryant's going to go off and have a big day, well, guess who else is probably the other wide receiver, who is Tyreek Hill. So it just makes sense to have Tyreek there. So you're spending $6,000 is something. It's a pretty big amount for wide receivers, but it's not like crazy. Like we're not spending on 9,000 or 7,000, and these guys have high ceilings. Okay. So the next one you're going to look at, and how I would go with my consideration is look at where they're going to be needed in a high scoring game. So Tampa Bay and New Orleans, that has a potential for a bit of a shootout because, Drew Brees throws big, and so does the Tampa Bay Winston, but he's questionable, so he might not be throwing that big. Let's see what other receiver we can look at. Perry Garcon for San Francisco's out. Interesting. All right. So you want to see somebody who's like Mike Evans, but at 7,700, you may have to pull away from a high volume running back. So you want to come back down a little bit lower. Larry Fitzgerald is a good option, but they're probably going to be running more than throwing because San Francisco's basically they're going to walk over him. All right. So the next one, higher probability, I would look at is Denver, D. Thomas. So we know Emmanuel Sanders, he's injured, and the quarterback has been having some issues. So probably want to go. We'll see if we can afford M. Thomas, New Orleans. He's the more likely right now. It's kind of pricey, but we're gonna see if we can find a value flex since we can't, since we're running low on funds right here. So for the flex, I'm gonna go down. I like to keep looking at wide receiver. I always try to put a wide receiver as a flex because it has a higher ceiling. But tight ends, where if you can't afford a wide receiver, either go with a running back that has a good situation or a tight end that also has a really good situation. So, but I'm gonna go with the running backs right now. I'm gonna look at what value backs I can get. Looks like 5,000 is about the range. And running backs, you can generally find a good situation every week. Carlos Hyde with San Francisco. So the reason I'm going with Carlos Hyde here, this is a good value play because you saw, the receiver is out, Pierre Garcon, so they're going to be leaning on him a lot more throwing, and he's already a high volume back. You see he's getting 12, 14, and that's going to go up. He's also receiving a lot, so consistently he's getting touches. They're going to especially need him this Sunday. So going up. All right, so we got about 5,000. We can still go for a good back. So you don't necessarily have to go so high, especially if Ezekiel Elliott, which you probably want to have him in your team if he's playing, because he's a really strong back that gets lots of touches, and he's a workhorse. But for this one, I'm gonna go. We gotta go a little bit lower. So, and you want to look for surprises because everyone knows some of the surprises that are coming. But you can't go too cheap. But this is a value play that everyone's gonna get this. So you don't want to be the one that didn't choose Adrian Peterson against a team that has no. Basically, they're going to keep running the ball. They're going to run all over him, give him a chance to show out. All right. Now, for the tight end, let's see if we can get the best tight end we can, which would be Jack Hurts. But you know what? They're not going to need him that much. I think Denver is having so much issues. They're Philly's probably just going to run it a good amount. Travis Kelce is always a high ticket item against Dallas. I think they're going to be running it a lot more. But we want someone who's going against, like Washington, we want someone who's going against a really low, poor team in regards to defending a tight end. So I'm going with Jimmy Graham there. All right. So now we got 4,600. So we know we're probably going to spend about 3,500 or less on our DST. So we can go a little bit higher with the with our quarterback flex. So we basically want to stack a quarterback and a receiver. It still works. There's no way around it. You want to get the more bang for your buck, but you want to get a value quarterback, someone who's going to get a lot of volume. So basically, I want to get someone either from from New Orleans, Seattle, KC. We'll see who we can get. Drew Brees is high up there. Let's see if we can get Alex Smith 65, but that's going to put us a crunch in our flex. So let's see the best high value quarterback we can get. Let's see. Can we get Russell Wilson? Definitely not. Okay, so we're just gonna throw in Alex Smith in there. Alright. And our flex. So the flex, what I like to do is I like to see if you realize you got 3,700 split between these two, and you still want a good defense. Probably should go with a tight end. Tight ends, they're the surprises. They're the ones that bring you a lot of value. So you know that Ezekiel's out. That means Jason Witten. He's going to be getting a lot more work from Zach. You see he already does. He's 5'4", 10, and he's gone down. So all he needs is a touchdown. He'll be in the 20s because he's going to get those receptions. That's a gimme. So choose Jason Witten. So 2,800. What defense are we going to get? Probably not the best, but we're going to look for a sleeper in here. So Cincinnati at Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is really tough, so might not be able to get Jacksonville. So what I would do now is I would consider maybe pulling the quarterback, because at the end of the day, unless he has a bad day, he's going to get about probably 15 to 25. That's points that most quarterbacks get, most decent quarterbacks. So we saw 6,000 didn't work, so we're going to try to drop down to 55 and start from there. Kirk Cousins, you know he's going to be throwing, but we don't have one to stack him here with. I would go, let's see something. So, Indiana and Houston, this Brissett, he's a young quarterback, but he does get a lot of volume. So you see 39, 37, 34. And so pure volume, he's going to get 16. He just needs to get some touchdowns in there. And let's see if he's got a chance. 22nd ranked. So he's got a good shot. Now we got 4,100. Because you want a strong defense. Defenses are racking up the points. Jacksonville, Cincinnati. Jacksonville's a strong defense. Let's see how strong. They're going to 30th rushing offense. Game log, typically 20-18-15. So you got to go with Jacksonville. That's our lineup, folks. It's a winner. Hope you entered also. We'll split the prize.